circle for now and just kind of get the groundwork laid for that, all that stuff. But yeah, circle is an important part of that. All right, so the next part we have is this part right here. That is called the circumference. And I'm going to spell right here, nice and big so you guys can see it. It's a very big, long word, so leave a lot of room in your heads.
Is this right there too?
Yeah, it's right. It's up there too if you can see it. So the circumference, what that is that's all of. Oh, okay, I got it over here. Maybe you guys can see. Circumference is the edge, the kind of like the border of the circle. Okay, and we'll learn later about how to find the length of the circumference. But for now, we're just trying to name them. So circumference is all that. Huh? Diameter. Diameter is not circumference. That's actually the next one that we're going to talk about. So the diameter, without trying to ruin the rest of the drawing here, is this guy right here. Diameter goes across the circle. It cuts the circle in half. All right? So diameter is right here. Let me see. Diameter. All right, the diameter goes from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle. And most importantly, this is the most important part of the diameter, it goes through the center of the circle. All right? So these are kind of the parts of the circle and everything that we have here. You guys kind of think you can sort of intuitively find out some sort of relationship between the radius and the diameter? What do you guys think? Yeah?
They're both parallel? Like they're not parallel, but they're like...
Well, okay, see the thing about, also one more thing about radius and diameters, this isn't the radius. The radius can come out this way, the radius can come out that way, the radius can come out this way. Radius can do like whatever it wants. It just has to be from the center to the edge. Diameter the same way. Diameter doesn't just have to be that way. It could be up, down, back and forth, side to side, every which way. It just has to go from one side of the circle to the other one and pass through the center. So maybe I'll draw another little circle over here. See if I can find a more dark marker. See if I can draw another circle over here. This one's gonna be a little smaller, but oh, that's nice. Okay, here we go. So if I have the center here, and I have the radius going up this way, that's the radius. And then I draw another radius going this way. I have two radiuses, or radii. And what do I have here?
Diameter.
Diameter, exactly. So what do you guys think the relationship is between the radius and the diameter?
They both look the same.
They look the same.
They go through the circle.
They do both go through the circle. I'm talking about like proportions though. Yeah?
They both like, they pass, let's say they both pass.
We'll get back to that. What do you think?
They both don't have to like be like in a certain place.
True, but I'm not looking what they both are. I'm looking how do they kind of relate to each other. I'll take a few more responses and I'll just go to this.
They connect.
They do. They can connect.
They can go in like many ways in a circle.
They can, but if you guys notice, I'll just kind of tell you what I'm looking for here. If you notice, you have one radius, two radius, so the diameter is twice the radius. I think I heard somebody saying it over here.
So a radius is half of a diameter?
Exactly. Boom. That's what we need to look for. So we'll write that down. That's important. Radius is 1/2 the diameter. And if you guys are really good at math, you'll know the other side of that is that the diameter is what? Twice the radius, right? All right, so you guys can see that the radius is twice, the radius is half the diameter. The diameter is twice the radius. We take a diameter, cut it in half, we get a radius. We take two radiuses, put them together. That's the diameter. All right? So that's sort of the parts of the circle. Then we're going to talk about one other really important part of a circle. It's this idea of this guy. How many people have seen this little number before?
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah, I have.
What is that?
It's a bell.
It's a bell? No,
It's
not.
about. It's about.
It's about. It's not about. You might be thinking of approximately. Anyone else? All right. So this little number, this is actually a number.
Pi.
There we go. Who said that? Good stuff, man. Get you a soy bug for that. That's kind of a really cool thing to know at this level.
Good job.
There we go. Pi. All right, and then pi is pi is a number. It's not just a symbol or anything like that. It actually represents a number, which equals 3 0.14. Now, it's actually a much bigger number, or it's a number that goes off to a lot more decimal places, but just for simplicity purposes, we'll just keep it at 3.14. That's a good approximation a lot of people use. So yeah, pi is 3.14. We usually draw that little thing. Cool, and the way we found out what pi is the number of times the diameter goes around the circumference. All right? So we're gonna do a little exercise here shortly, and we're gonna discover that, yeah, if you have the diameter, if you took this diameter and you sort of wrapped it around the circle, it would go around 3.14 times. All right? And we'll see that in our little exercise here. So another way to write this would be, let's see here. You could say that the, you could say that the circumference equals, I know, that's our texting generation. Circumference equals pi times diameter, okay? So you guys kind of get that? So you take the diameter, and then you take the diameter, and then you multiply it by pi, and then that gives you the length of the circumference, okay? Also, since we have, remember guys, how many radiuses are in a diameter? Two, exactly. So we can also say that circumference equals 2 pi r. 2 pi times the radius. Okay? So I'll go ahead and erase this. We'll do a couple little exercises here for practice, and then we'll get to an activity, okay? Does everyone have the parts of the circle down in their notes?
I do. I don't.
You don't? Do you have them? Your neighbor, do you have the parts down? Are you gonna let her check them out? All right. So, and just for simplicity purposes, since we're not gonna, since we don't want to do all kinds of decimal calculations all day, when we multiply something by pi, like say I want to multiply 2 by pi, we're just gonna write it 2 times pi, which equals 2 pi. Simple enough. You guys get that? Okay. So, I'm gonna draw another circle here. Yeah, sure, draw one more circle if you got room in your notes. All right, so. All right, cool. So radius equals 2, okay? That's what we're gonna start with. I'm going to show you guys how to find out the circumference of the circle based on just knowing the radius. Now remember we had that little equation over here earlier? We had that the circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. All right, so if we multiply this, we multiply the radius times 2. Or actually, maybe we can write it a little differently for you guys' notes. 2 times the radius times pi. And that'll probably be better for your notes so you can kind of follow it. So how do you think we'd find the circumference here? Does anyone think they can solve this little problem? Looking at this?
2 pi.
2 pi. That's good guess, but not quite. What do you got, buddy?
8.
8? Not quite 8. Maybe then, what's that?
4.
4 what?
Pi.
4 pi, exactly. Can you tell us how you got that?
I did 2 times 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 pi. Oh, I get it
And then you probably multiply
because there's 2 radius.
Exactly.
And then 2 times 2.
Exactly. That's how that works. Okay. So you took this radius, and remember the pi ratio is the diameter to the radius. So you have a radius. You multiply that radius times 2, and then you multiply by pi, and then you get 4 pi. All right. Just make sure you guys are kind of getting the concept. Let's try something else here. How about radius equals 5? Who can kind of figure this one out? Anyone have some insight on this one? Okay, we'll just walk through this one then.
10 pi.
10?
10 pi.
10 pi? Want to tell me how you got that?
Pi 10, something like that.
Okay.
Because 5 times 2
Okay.
is 10. Then there's 2 radius and you add it.
And then you multiply that all times pi, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Now, why did you multiply the 5 by 2?
Huh?
Why did you multiply the 5 by 2?
Because there's 3.
Because there's 2 radiuses that make up the
Diameter.
diameter. Good job, guys. Good job. I just want to make sure you guys understand this. All right, let's kind of switch it up a little bit. Let's say, let's see here. Okay, let's say we have a diameter now, okay? And the diameter of this circle is, let's say the diameter is 7, okay? What would be the circumference of that circle?
I think 14.
14? That would be if it was the radius, but remember,
7.
7
Pi.
7 pi. You want to walk me through how you got that?
Because I did 7 times 1.
7 times 1 because there's 1 diameter, and then you multiply that times pi. Very good. So just 7, or the diameter equals 7. You multiply that times pi. Boom, that becomes 7 pi equals the circumference. And remember, guys, pi equals 3.14. So if you wanted to know what the actual number was, you guys can just do some multiplication and plug that in. So, for example, this one would be, you have 7 times 4 is 28, you have 7, and then you have 21, so move the decimal place 2 points over. Your circumference would actually be 21.78. We'll just call this centimeters. Okay? So 21.7 centimeters would be, if this was 7 centimeters across, the circle around here would be 21.78 centimeters, approximately. Okay? So we got that. Let's just try to do one more example and then we'll get to a couple fun activities here, okay? Let's say we're given that the circumference of this thing is, let's see, 16 pi. Can you guys tell me what the radius is and the diameter?